The different agreements of WTO, like Agreement on Market Access, Agreement on Dispute Settlement, Trade Related Investment Measures, Agreement on Textile and Clothing, which is also multi-fiber agreement, Trade Related Intellectual Property Rights, and General Agreement on Trade in Services are being discussed in Part 3. The first agreement of WTO is Agreement on Market Access. The agreement of WTO on market access refers to the conditions, tariffs and non-tariffs measures that member countries would impose on the entry of specific goods into their market. Tariff commitments for goods are listed in each member's schedules of concession on goods. The schedule of concession reflects the specific tariff concessions and other commitments agreed upon by member countries during the WTO trade negotiation conferences. These schedules usually specify the maximum or binding tariff levels. In case of agricultural goods, the concession mentioned relate to tariff rate quotas, limits on export subsidies, and some kind of domestic support. WTO in its Doha Ministerial Declaration have initiated negotiation on market access for non-agricultural goods. It aims to reduce or eliminate tariffs on products of export interest to developing countries. The next agreement is of dispute settlement. WTO's agreement on dispute settlement has been at the center of multilateral trading system. It has enabled WTO rules to be more effective by providing a well-defined and a systematic mechanism for settlement of any trade-related disputes between member countries. A dispute arises when one country adopts a trade policy measures which as per another member country are not in line with WTO agreements. It does not take more than 15 months to resolve a case even if the appeal is filed after the first ruling. The case is expedited if they are related to perishable goods. If any trade dispute is not resolved through mutual consultation between the countries involved, then the dispute settlement body would appoint the panels of experts to consider the case. The panelists are chosen in consultation with the countries in dispute. Only if the two sides cannot agree on the members of the panel, then the WTO Director General would appoint the panelist. The panel submit their final report within 6 months, while in case of urgency, including the cases related to perishable goods, the deadline is reduced to 3 months. The dispute settlement body has a sole authority to accept or reject the finding of panels or the result of an appeal. It monitors the implementation of rulings and recommendation and has the power to authorize retaliation when a country does not comply with a ruling. The losing nation has to comply with the recommendation within a reasonable period of time. The retaliation, if authorized, needs to be in the same sector as the dispute. If it is not practical or wouldn't be effective, then it can be in a different sector of a same agreement. Under rare circumstances, retaliation would be allowed into sectors which are covered under different WTO agreements. The next principle is trade related investment measures, TRIMS, as we know it as. The agreement on trade related investment measures refers to foreign investment inflows. It refers to investments originating from one country to another. The agreement requires host nation to provide national treatment to foreign investment inflows on grounds similar to that of domestic investment. It implies that the agreement prohibits the host country to discriminate between the investment from abroad and domestic investment. Besides this, the other clause in the agreement required the host nation to freely allow foreign investment within domestic borders without any maximum cap on it. The agreement also restricts the host nation from imposing any kind of export obligation or import cap on foreign investment. Nations are also prohibited from imposing any clause with respect to local content requirement on foreign firms operating and manufacturing in our country. Next agreement is on textile and clothing. The basic aim of agreement on textile and clothing was to secure the removal of restrictions applied by some of the developed countries to the imports of textile and clothing from developing countries. Countries were required to remove restrictions in four stages over a period of 10 years, which ended on 1st January 2005. The textile and clothing industry are important to a large number of developing countries. Multi-fiber agreement has been dismantled with effect from 1st January 2005. The result was the removal of quantitative restrictions on the textile imports in several European countries. As a consequence, a huge textile market has been opened up for the developing countries' textile industry as well as other countries that have competitive advantage in this area. The preamble to General Agreement on Trade in Services states that the general goal of participants was to establish a multilateral framework of principles and rules for trade in services with a view to expanding such trade under conditions of transparency and progressive liberalization. Efficient services are crucial to economy's global competitiveness, and hence GATS came into action. The four modes of service supply under GATS are as follows. Mode 1 is cross-border supply. It refers to a situation where the service flows from the territory of one member country into the territory of another member country. It crosses the sovereign national barriers, much like that of international trade in goods. Example, an architect can send his architectural plan through electronic means. Mode 2 is consumption abroad. It refers to a situation where a consumer of a services moves into the territory of another member country to obtain the service. The example of this mode will involve tourist or a student joining any educational institution abroad. Commercial presence is mode 3. It implies that service suppliers of a member country establish a territorial presence in another member country with a view to providing their services. In this case, the service supplier establishes a legal presence in the form of a joint venture, subsidiary, representatives, branch office in the host country and starts supplying services. It includes services such as banking, legal advice, insurance, etc. Movement of natural persons is covered under Mode 4. It refers to temporary movement of natural persons, where a foreigner moves temporarily into another country to supply a service. Example, software developers from India moving to US to provide software services, or a professor giving series of lectures in some other nation as an invited guest faculty. The last agreement of WTO which has been covered in this part is trade related intellectual property rights. The agreement on trade related intellectual property rights tried to address the problem of widely varying standards in the protection and enforcement of intellectual property rights and lack of multilateral framework of principles, rules and disciplines dealing with international trade in counterfeit goods. The agreement stipulated some basic uniformity of law among all trading partners. This required a suitable amendment in the domestic intellectual property rights of each country. Since the process is not the simple one, a time period of 10 years was given to the developing countries to bring about the changes. The different types of rights includes patents, in which the agreement requires that a 20-year patent protection be available for all invention, whether of product or process in almost all field of technology. These changes in patents have adversely affected the pharmaceutical industry of India, which before the TRIPS coming into existence were granting only product patents and not the process patents. Next is copyrights. With respect to copyrights, parties are required to comply with the substantive provision of Berne Convention for the protection of literary and artistic work. With respect to trademarks and service marks, the agreement defines what type of signs must be eligible for protection as a trademark or a service mark and what the minimum rights conferred on their owners must be. Marks that have become well known in a particular country shall enjoy additional protection. In addition, the agreement lays down a number of obligations with regard to the use of trademarks and service marks, their terms of protection and their licensing or assignment. For example, requirement that foreign marks be used in conjunction with local markets would, as a general rule, be prohibited. In respect of geographical indication as property rights, the agreement lays down that all parties must provide means to prevent the use of any indication which misleads the consumer as to the origin of goods and any use which would constitute an act of unfair competition. A higher level of protection is provided for geographical indication for wines and spirits, which are being protected even where there is no danger of anyone being misled of true origin of the product. As a result of geographical indication, Recently or of late, we find the product mentioning product of which country. It does not say made in India, but it says product of India, which basically refers to the existence of geographical indication. Reason being, a product can be manufactured or made in any part of the world even when it has not originated in that part of the world. Industrial designs are also protected under the agreements for a period of 10 years. Owners of protected designs would be able to prevent the manufacturer, sale, or importation of articles bearing a design which is a copy of the protected designs. Last one is trade secrets and know-how which have commercial value and which must be protected. Test data submitted to government in order to obtain marketing approval of pharmaceutical or agricultural chemicals must also be protected against unfair commercial use. Agreement on agriculture has been explained in part 4 at as it covers a substantial aspects about this particular sector and the changes which are made as per the WTO provisions.